Hi, Ian Roberts and Mastering Composition. After teaching painting workshops for over 25 years, I know the problems and frustrations that painters face. I see them all the time firsthand. And what I hear over and over again from students is, I seem to make the same mistakes again and again. I get halfway through a painting and just get bogged down and don't know how to finish it. I get hung up adding more and more details. I work and then rework and ultimately overwork painting after painting. And of course, this is discouraging and our confidence takes a hit each time. You start to think, oh, I should have gone to art school when I had a chance, or it's too late to get good at this. I haven't got any talent. Maybe I'm just wasting my time. But the doubly painful part of this discouragement is when you do start a new painting, you're excited, right? You've got fresh color and fresh canvas or paper and a new idea. And when you start, and I hear this all the time from students, time stands still. I'm in the zone. It's my refuge, until slowly things start to bog down and go off the rails again. But let me say this right here and right now, and it's important. You're called to this arena of painting. You're drawn to this for a reason. It may be a small voice, but you would not be here listening to this video unless you're called to it. You want to do it. You don't necessarily know why. I can tell you after a lifetime of painting, I don't know why, but I know it's real. And that attention given to that quiet pull to express yourself connects you to the quiet inner core of who you really are. And I think it's important to honor it. I would absolutely say you're not wasting your time. And I'll tell you, it's not about talent or creativity. You are talented and creative enough. So the question is there an efficient and effective means to build skills so you can finally start expressing yourself artistically now? And I can tell you there is. If you look at this photo, what do you see? Well, a road and some trees and bushes and evening light, but also a ton of other stuff. You see, if you count, road signs, 15 of them, side roads, 6 of those, 8 telephone poles, masses of wires, even a windmill. If you imagine painting that, the tendency is to just start adding stuff based on the reference, with the hope if you just keep adding all that stuff, eventually you'll end up with a painting. This, I'd have to say, is a very left brain, sequential way of approaching it, and the number one reason most student paintings are ruined before the brush even gets to the canvas. So what's the solution? What you need to do really is imagine coming round to the back, so to speak, thinking in terms of a more right brain, holistic way of starting, seeing the compositional structure, and then the design of the major light and dark masses, and that will give you the compositional foundation to start your painting. You see now there's a painting about big value shapes, about light really, and everything else has been stripped away. The painting rests on that compositional structure and design. And you cannot start thinking about composition, about structure and design halfway through your painting. Giving thought to the composition before you begin to paint is like putting the foundation of the house in before you build the house. The foundation holds everything together. Now, a great composition doesn't necessarily guarantee you're going to make a masterpiece, but a poor composition will almost certainly guarantee that you'll end up disappointed with your painting. So how do you develop good compositional skills? Look at this juggler. That's what you're doing when you're painting mentally. We need to strip the complexity of painting down so we can actually focus on and embed foundational skills into our practice. What we need to do is get rid of the brushes, the paint, the color, and you go, but Ian, that's painting, what's left? Looking at the structure and design behind the painting. As I say, it's foundation. So what's the best way to learn about composition? Drawing. And I can hear some of you groan from here. I know many of you probably avoid drawing because you feel the skills aren't there. With brushes and color, at least you feel like a painter. As one student said to me, but my drawings, they look like chicken scratches. So you think, oh, what's the point? It just frustrates me more and feels like a waste of time. But what would you say if I said I could teach you to draw in a month? In a month, I can teach you the fundamentals to use drawing as an efficient and effective tool to explore your ideas for a composition before you begin to paint, and so you enjoy it. So you say, well, Ian, I'm not so sure, a month? So I want to show you before and after drawings from my course. Here's one student's work before the course on the left, and the same student 2 weeks later on the right. In the second, you can now see objects in space. You could paint that. And here are 3 examples of student drawings from before the course and 6 weeks later. And you can see the dramatic improvement. And you can see now they're not thinking in lines. They're thinking of shapes, value shapes. And you can start to see the illusion of depth carved in the picture plane. And when you see that, then you can paint it. Here's another drawing done by one of my students before the course. You can see all the bricks, all the piano keys, and every piece of that parquet flooring. And this is pretty much a perfect example of the sequential adding up of details, of a left brain cataloging of information. And then look at this drawing, same student, 6 weeks later. They are seeing in shapes. They are seeing as a painter now. You could paint that. During the course, you will feel that shift. By the end, you will be seeing in shapes, not detail. That is an almost universal comment from students in my course. The blunt truth is, if you can't solve what you're looking at in a drawing with a pencil, you probably won't solve it in paint. Painting is just drawing with a brush. If you'd like to learn to dramatically improve your painting, I invite you to join me for my online course on mastering composition. It's for beginners who want to learn to draw all the way to professionals, because the more you know about painting, the more you know the importance of composition. The course is 6 weeks long, and by the end of the course, you will come to love drawing as a deeply meditative and engaging practice, and you'll know how to use it to explore your ideas before you paint. I've designed the course to be the most efficient and effective way to improve as a painter. And even if you say, but what really interests me is loose brushwork and vibrant color, I can tell you they will consistently cause you problems if you don't use them built on a sound foundation. You can ignore this idea now, but you'll just be facing it later, perhaps halfway through your next painting. It will save you so much time and heartache in the end. Build a good foundation for your painting before you begin, and your success rate and confidence will soar. Compositional structure forms the basis for every painting you do, whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not. Whether you paint in oils or watercolor, acrylics or pastels, whether you paint landscapes, still life, figures, portrait, plein air, or studio painting, academic or abstraction, they all rest on the bedrock foundation of sound composition. Most students are in a hurry, impulsive, paint now, think later. And I get it. You don't have that much time to paint, so you want to get on with it. This course will slow you down and embed the fundamental skills to succeed as a painter. I can teach you to draw, so drawing is a functional and enjoyable skill, and you'll be doing it in a month. Not master it, I'm still improving, but you'll have it as a functioning skill. It's proven, and I guarantee it. You'll start to really enjoy the process of drawing, and if you don't paint and only want to draw, that's great too. I have masses of testimonials, but let me share just 2. Marilyn Lewis of Humboldt, California said, "It was an epiphany when I realized, really understood, I was carving an illusion with these value shapes. For the first time, I finally understood how it works." And Jody Schuster of Toronto, Canada said, "The kind of teaching I've been seeking for decades." If the idea of this course resonates with you, or you just want more information, here's what to do next. In the gray box directly below this video, it says to find out more, click here. Click on that link. There I outline the course in more detail, how it works, why it works, the lesson plan, the dates, the price. I'll share more testimonials and more before and after drawings. So for more information, click on that link below. In 2 days, I'll be posting a short 10-minute video on the 5 most important principles we need to master anything. I think you will find some very useful content there to improve as an artist, but really at anything. So to find out more about my drawing course and how it can dramatically improve your painting, click on that link below. I'll see you on Thursday, January 11th in 2 days for the next video. I'd be delighted if you join me. My very best wishes, and bye for now.